very dream that brings me so much joy can turn into my worst nightmare. Hey, my name is Joel Chinta, and if you don't know about me, I am an aspiring comedian and actor and now content creator. I've experienced a lot of failure in my life. This video is something that I wanted to make to sort of reflect on those experiences, hoping that this would serve as a reminder for me, but also as an encouragement to those of you who are watching this. I've always been the kind of guy that if I see something I'm interested in, I would immerse myself into that thing wholeheartedly. As inspiring as that sounds, if it is not guided with some level of wisdom, I'm either going way too fast to ever realize that anything is going wrong, and eventually those small mistakes catch up with me later on, or I eventually burn myself out and lose passion that I have, and oftentimes those ventures would eventually also burn out with me. Right now, I find myself in a place where I'm doing something that I love, and if I'm not careful, the very dream that brings me so much joy can turn into my worst nightmare. If I were to pinpoint two things that I didn't do back then that were the major leading causes to my downfall, it would be these. The first thing is identifying my true why. This is a lesson that Simon Sinek also talks about in his books. Why is not necessarily the outcome, but the why is the reason as to why we pursue something, be it an organization, be it a goal, be it a vision that we have for our lives. There needs to be a purpose as to why that exists. And if there isn't, a lot of times we are trying to appease the various vanity metrics that are out there. The mistake I often made was I attached myself a lot to my external success. Oftentimes, I found myself in a place where I was trying to please everyone. There was no way to maintain any sort of consistency. There was no way to see that standards are upheld. I attached all of these external results to my internal self-worth. Not only did every positive comment boost my ego and make me feel good, but every negative comment crushed me to the core and made me feel terribly unmotivated to do anything. We can turn into people pleasers trying to check the boxes of every single person that walks through our door and lose our authenticity and lose our ability to communicate what exactly it is that we have to offer. And going into this new season of my life, I really want to ensure that every single thing I do has a strong reason as to why I'm doing it. At the end of the day, the things that I make may not be for everyone, and that is okay. I have to be comfortable with the fact that I am unable and I'm not meant to please every single person on the planet. I must operate with a why. Therefore, it is easy to maintain consistency, integrity, and be diligent with the craft and be focused with the craft that I'm in. And now the second thing, I would just be like, hey, by this time, this year, I want to be here. And that was extremely arbitrary. And for some reason, I was setting all of these goals without ever considering the long-term execution plans towards these goals. And which is why I really like what James Clear talks about building systems where we do not rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our systems. Of course, you're going to learn new things about your industry, about where you're placed, about your field and your niche. You take those things into account and you see how those things can integrate into the system, therefore resulting in greater outcomes towards your goal. And now that I'm pursuing creating videos and I'm doing comedy and I'm acting, it is almost scary entering into new territory. Oftentimes, I find myself questioning whether it will amount to anything at all, or if this will also become one of those failures in my life. And if you find yourself in such a place today, what I can say is every effort you put into following and pursuing your dreams, whether or not you become successful in the metrics that you have in your mind, it is gonna be worth it at the end of the day, because you would have taken away the lessons that you've learned from the mistakes and the failures that you've experienced. Continue to put yourself in a mindset of being a good student of life, being a good student of your experiences. You can always learn from every single positive or negative experience and turn that into gold. And following your dreams, though at times it may seem like a nightmare, will one day bear its fruit. And you'll be grateful that you've walked through this process irregardless. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please consider subscribing and liking this video if it brought value to you. And leave a comment if there's anything you feel like you want me to talk about next. Take care of yourself. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Here's one thing that annoys me about Indians though. Okay? Whenever we see each other outside of India, some of us get overly excited. Like there's a billion of us on the planet. When does your excitement stop?